Come have fun with us and don't forget to subscribe.
What's up everybody, I'm Rick.
And I'm Anna.
And welcome to our reaction to Naruto Shippuden episode 174.
Welcome!
Anna,
Yes.
we are watching Naruto because it's one of the anime in our bucket list of 101 anime that we want to watch in our lifetime. Both Naruto and Naruto Shippuden.
Yeah.
And those were added because you hadn't watched them before.
No, I hadn't.
I had, and so I thought, like, let's go on this journey together, but with everyone else.
So that you can make fun of me.
No, I'm not making fun of you.
No, you're not. No.
It's actually very fun to watch this again with you and with everyone that's been watching along on this channel. Thank you all for tagging with us.
Thank you.
Anna, last time,
Yes.
we got more of the flashback, Nagato's flashback. More,
but it's not over yet.
More of these important moments that shaped him as a kid and as a man, led him to the ideologies that he holds today, to the answer that he has today. Of course, all of this was spurred by Naruto asking, tell me your story and I'll see if I have an answer for you afterward, right?
Right.
A lot of this has been about, figuring out an answer to this issue of hatred and peace and etc. And when you see Nagato's life story, you understand even more, how he came to that decision, especially with some of these comebacks out there that, were in his way. I'm talking about you, Hanzo and Denzo.
Betrayed him so terribly when all they were trying to do was like
bring peace
somehow. And they just like betrayed him and his friends like that. Like it was just like so rough,
It was horrible. And not only that, then you just play with them, ask them like, hey, here's a kunai, kill your friend.
Yeah.
Otherwise I kill your other friend. Like, wow, who does that?
It's horrible.
But yeah, in the end, Yahiko did die, impaled himself on that kunai and left Nagato with these words, which is very heavy. You're the savior of the world. You will do it, and so let us see what happens next. We saw that he went berserk, right, and killed all those Konoha and Rain Village that were there, except for Hanzo, who escaped.
And Danzo, because we know that
he participated, but he wasn't there.
Oh, he wasn't there? Oh, okay. I don't know why I had the feeling that he was there. I wonder how did the word get around that the three of them died? Because Jiraiya said that when he told the story. He heard that
they had died.
They had died years later. But, I mean, everyone else who was there died. Why would you think that they died too?
Let us now watch this episode and see what happens next.
Oh, I just realized also the music. It's like the beginning of Akatsuki.
And even afterward, he keeps seeing his friends die.
Yeah.
You have blood on your hand, Konoha.
Yeah. Your peace is an illusion.
Again, very hard to argue with him here.
Yeah. Like, it's so real, I don't think he has one.
It's difficult though.
Yeah. Like, it's nice the way he put it, but it's also, I feel like it comes from a place of, like, that's a little bit more privileged,
On Naruto's part?
Yeah.
お前が世界を平和にするのを待てとでも言うのか。
なら俺がその呪いを解いてやる。平和ってのがあるなら俺がそれを掴み取ってやる。俺は諦めねえ。
Those words.
そうだってばよ。今のは全部この本の中の
Oh, is it something that
千人の書いた
Yahiko said?
その本だ。この本を書くヒントをくれた弟子のことが書いてあった。あんたの名前だ。
Oh. They were his words. I wonder what it would be like to live there where it always seems to be raining. I guess you get used to it.
I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
この世界の憎しみについて俺なりに考えてみました。いつか俺がこの呪いを解いてみせます。平和ってのがあるなら俺が掴み取ってみせます。
Those were his
It's
words.
the same words.
方法より大切なこと。要はそれを信じる力です。
いい案だの。
It's before life broke him.
Yeah. Or at least before it broke him completely.
Yeah, before reality sets in.
Yeah.
なさったんです。
どうやらお前のおかげでいい本が書けそうだ。まず主人公の名前を何にするかだが。
So,
Yeah, there it is.
これからはお前
So interesting, like how it came back in circles like that, you know?
よく頑張ったの。あっと泣くなヤヒコ。大きくなったらまた会おうの。
Unfortunately, the next time you see them,
この国は
they'll kill you.
yeah.
この先悲しいことも多々あるだろう。
Oh, one of them will.
だが今度はお前たちの力でこの国を変えてゆけ。君たちは成長した。そうだろう。
I mean, you say that, but they're still kids.
It's the world they live in, right?
Yeah.
Even Konoha was sending kids to war.
True. Oh, they were so sad.
またいつか会えるよ。
そろそろ観念したらどうだ。
Everybody's always reading that part.
Yeah.
煙玉か。
It's the beginning of the story, I guess.
諦めろ。
一言いいか。俺が諦めるの。
Ta-da-da! Give up on me giving up.
This is becoming one of my favorite lines, I think.
俺がその呪いを解いてやる。平和ってのがもしあるなら俺がそれを掴み取ってやる。俺は諦めない。俺の名は
もしかするとお前は千人の生まれ変わりなのかもしれない。
Nobody really says it.
お前
The name?
Yeah.
千人の思いが託されている気がするわい。そしてお前を信じとる。
Like, you remember a time when
この世の救世主だ。
when you were like Naruto? It's almost like he's looking at him and it's like
要はそれを信じる力です。
thinking like I also believed that once. It's like he forgot it.
そしてこの本の主人公の名前、それが
俺がその呪いを解いてやる。
Finally, you will hear someone say it.
俺がそれを掴み取ってやる。俺の名は
ナルトだ。
The reach of that book, huh?
Yeah.
俺はほかげになる。そんでもって雨隠れも平和にしてみせる。俺を信じてくれ。
Will he though? Like he's come too far
なぜだ。
to go back on to
お前
believing.
はどうして自分が変わらないと言い切れる。
俺だって 痛みはあった。
We know your story already.
And Nagato doesn't.
Yeah. I wonder, is this the hardest thing in that happened in Naruto's life? You know what happened with Sasuke?
And they're just showing different hardship that he's been through, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I wonder if that is the...
I mean, I would say stuff that happened recently are probably
Yeah.
Jiraiya's death, the village being destroyed, Kakashi, Shizune, all this, you know.
これからだってどんな痛みが俺に襲いかかるか。でもだからって自
He
分が
doesn't actually know that, huh?
Yeah, that he's coming.
We know.
主人公が変わっちまったら別の物語になっちまう。俺は師匠みたいに本は書けねえ。だから
Well, you don't know. He wasn't writing novels at your age.
歩く生き様だ。どんなに痛いことがあっても
You really think Naruto would write a novel?
No.
ナルトだ。
主人公が変わったら別の物語。
That's interesting.
Yeah,
It's like it could have been his story if he hadn't changed.
俺は
Nagato's.
Yeah.
同じ死を仰いだ者同士理解し合えるはずだと前に言ったな。お前は不思議なやつだ。昔の俺を思い出させる。
You remind me of me.
俺はジライアを知る。
Someone finally tells that to Naruto. What a change.
いや、自分自身をも。お前を信じてみよう。
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
渦巻きナルト。
He does?
おお、輪廻転生の術。
ナガト、あなた。
俺には新たな選択肢ができた。
What is he gonna
や
do?
めていた選択肢が。
なんだ。何の術だってばよ。ナガトの動力は生死を司る術。
That's crazy. Jutsu to control life and death.
Yeah.
今のチャクラでこの術を使ったらナガトは
What is he trying to do
こ
though?
こまでしてこの子にナガトを変えた不思議な子。
This mysterious child.
Just with words. I can't believe that it worked.
Just with words.
What is he doing?
終わったようじゃの。
どうなったがじゃお。
Yeah, tell me. I don't understand exactly what he's doing.
ジライアの弟子二人ともが予言の子として交わり、忍びの変革を導く者たちだったとは思わ
Both.
Oh!
That's interesting, huh?
ジライア
None of them would have done it without the other.
時点でこのことはもう決まっていたのかもしれん。世界を変える鍵になるとはの。
Yeah. The importance of that book is just crazy.
So what is he doing exactly? You don't
I
know.
don't. Yeah, I don't know what is he doing exactly.
We'll see. We'll see in the next episode. But here, I want to get into a conversation. But before we get into that, I want to just ask you, what did you think of the outcome of all of this?
You know, I think it's like the best that it could have been, honestly. In the sense that, you know, we were talking about how Nagato has been like has come up with an answer to the question of like, how are you gonna bring peace, or how can you bring peace to this world? An answer which we acknowledge, and he acknowledges himself, is not perfect, you know, but it's what he could come up with, and he kept asking like, can you come up with something better? And really, if you try to think about it, it's not like there is an answer. You know, like how do you just like end the pain in the world and the suffering and everything? You can't do that, you know, as long as there's gonna be different people who will do different things.
They'll hate each other, they'll fight,
Exactly.
they'll keep on going.
But in that, like taking all of this into account, the idea that there will be some people who, no matter what, will always like keep fighting the good fight. They would say it with so much conviction that you would believe them, like Naruto did. And it's not easy. That's not an easy task to do. Like, it's not an easy thing to say. You know,
It's
like Nagato.
it's an easy thing to say. It's not an easy thing to do.
But like to say, knowing what it means, like Nagato asked, like, how can you be sure that you won't change in the future? You know, like when you realize what that means, you realize, like, can you really make that promise? You know.
Yeah, what I mean is, it's easy to make that promise, but when push comes to shove, when you live through what Nagato has lived through, are you still? And which is why he asked the question, right? Are you still going to be able to keep walking that walk afterwards, right?
Right. But I mean, it's still like it's the best thing that anyone can do.
Yeah. So here's where I come at it from, right? And so I've watched this years ago. I've read it even before that years ago. And I remember at the time kind of feeling, how do I say that, a bit ticked off.
Okay.
Not necessarily because it wasn't a nice moment, right? It was a beautiful moment. Not because it wasn't logical, right? Nagato saw himself, his old self in Naruto, and all of it is very understandable. But me putting myself in the shoes of Nagato, right? Thinking, right, okay, he has this belief, right? Which is a belief that is very easy to agree with, that humans are not perfect. They're not going to reach peace by themselves. Okay. So I came up with this idea that will force them to achieve peace.
At least temporarily.
At least temporarily, and then the cycle repeats itself, and then the peace comes back, etc. Do you have an answer? Right? That's been the topic for so many episodes. Do you have an answer? And then Naruto is like, okay, tell me your story. I'll tell you my answer. He tells him his story, and Naruto's like, I don't have an answer, but I'll find one. You see how it still feels like, you know, it's a cop out, right?
Yeah, it's true. But the thing is that I don't think that Nagato is betting his chips here on, oh, he will find an answer. He's betting his chips on, he's the one who will not give up. He feels in this moment, like, because he sees himself or his old self, his like child self in Naruto, you know, he thinks to himself like, oh, I was like that, and when I was like him, I believed. And now he feels like he gave up.
Yeah.
On his belief. So he looks at Naruto and he thinks, but he seems, I want to believe that he won't give up. I gave up, but he won't.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that from the point of view of me, who's putting myself in his shoes, right? I've thought about this my whole life.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, but like, think about it this way, you know? If all you've ever wanted was to have peace, to achieve peace, not just for yourself, but just in general, right? To have faith that it can be done is the best, like, feeling that you can get, you know?
Of course, it's the best outcome for you, in my opinion, for humanity, right? Like, to always strive to be the best that you can be, and if everybody did that, there would be way less
yeah, but
horrible
not just
things
that,
in
but
the
like
world,
to
right?
have faith that it can be done. Like he looks at, and also that's a common thing that we've seen Naruto do before, right? He makes people believe in him because he has that, he carries himself with that kind of conviction.
Yeah, I guess my issue comes from the fact that me as a viewer and reader before, I don't believe in him.
You don't believe in Naruto?
I don't believe in, not because there's any flaws with the characters thinking or whatever. Like he's very, you know, idealist.
Yeah.
I see him as an idealist. And so I listen to him telling me I'll figure out something. And I'm thinking, you won't. You know? Not trying to tell you what will happen in the future, or maybe you will by the end of the show or not. But at the time when I was watching, when I was at this moment in the show, I thought, you won't.
But like, I feel like I wouldn't care if I thought that if I were in that world, and I thought, oh, he probably won't come up with an answer. The fact that he is so resilient and so like he walks, he feels like he's the kind of character of a person who walks like this path, who will walk this path to the end. You know,
that's commendable. That's admirable.
For me, that would be what matters. Though I also probably wouldn't believe that he can actually achieve that. But I would feel like if at least he can be that great until the end, that's like more of, I don't know, a hero to this world, to their world, than a lot of other heroes have been, you know? Just because, like, think about the impact that they would have, how many people that would inspire. Like, maybe he won't find the answer to true peace or anything, but he could have a great impact still.
Yeah.
And that's still, like, way better than nothing.
Yeah,
you know?
and of course I'm talking here for the sake of discussion, right?
Yeah,
there is no real answer to true eternal
and
peace,
it's all
and so it's impossible to put that on Naruto's shoulder and say, haha, you won't find an answer. Nobody would, right?
Right, exactly. And it's also like this discussion at this point in the story and at this point in time in their world, it's a hypothetical discussion. You don't know, maybe he'll die next week. You know, like you don't know what will happen. You know, it's like, it's more like in this moment, what do you believe?
Yeah.
You know,
it's about fate.
Exactly.
It's about fate.
And I like it because it feels so much like that, and it feels like that without really that many words. I feel like Nagato told his story so well that, like, in the end, the way he looks at Naruto, you realize, like, oh, this is, in the end, this is a guy who had lost faith and now found it again in someone else, which is such a powerful thing, you know.
Yeah. But what's also powerful is the understanding, right? Naruto listens to the story at the end and says, I understand where you're coming from, right? Which is something that he didn't have at the beginning when he started fighting Pain, and he was just screaming, you want peace? That's bull, you know, like you're just here to destroy everything. But now, you know, he understands that there's more.
I think it's also interesting because Nagato had said before, well, and the Pains, you know, that he was talking through had said before that people don't understand each other. You know, there was something that he didn't really believe in. Like, in the end, people only understand their own pain more than anything else.
Yeah.
But like now he looks like face to face with Naruto and like got the chance to tell his story. And then hearing what Naruto had to say about that, he feels like Naruto understands, and he understands Naruto in return, you know. So it's like, I don't know, I like it. It's such a powerful moment. It's such a good conversation.
Yeah, it's a very powerful.
What I like about it is that it didn't turn cheesy, because this could have turned really cheesy, you know, like kind of like a cheap. Naruto didn't give an answer that was too, I don't know, cheesy.
Unrealistic,
like
you know,
unrealistic.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
Which, you know, and maybe I'm contradicting myself a little bit here. If he had, right, because I'm saying he didn't have an answer, and that kind of take me off. If he had an answer that didn't make sense, that would have been worse, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or if he had an answer that would have been like so, like, oh, this like very hyper specific thing can be done, and when you think about it, it's not really like an utopic kind of answer.
An even more idealistic answer, right?
Exactly.
It's idealistic to think I will figure it out.
Yeah.
But to have an even more idealistic mindset of like, here's my answer, and it's just dreamland, right?
I feel like Naruto will maybe reach another understanding of this whole situation when he faces Sasuke again. Because it's so much about that, you know, hatred
and the cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. What do you guys think of this whole situation? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you want to see future Naruto reactions from us, we invite you to
subscribe to this channel. The button is down below.
Like this video if you did. Comment in the comment section below, and have a nice day.